Hey guys, and today I'm going to talk to you about the fourth stimulus check. Resources and news articles say that there might be a fourth stimulus check coming out, and it remains a very popular topic with so many people. Obviously, the news media outlets are jumping on this because of some rumors that have been spread, and whether it's legit or not, it all depends. About 161 million payments of $1,400 per person have been issued since the third stimulus package passed in mid-March. A lot of paper checks and a lot of direct deposits are still hitting people's bank accounts. The total is $422 billion that's been allotted to stimulus checks, and it's part of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan Act. Of course, we know that there's relief programs and these payments, the stimulus payments, are to help cushion the COVID economic impact on everyone's household. The stimulus package also extended unemployment benefits, enhanced child tax credit, and some other things that were listed in that American Rescue Plan Act. And the more recent round of checks follows the $1,200 CARES Act payments plan on top of the $600 that most people got in January. Now, the economy is actually doing really good. In the first quarter of 2021, the US economy grew at an annualized rate of 6.4%, faster than the 4.3% from the fourth quarter of 2020. The annual rate of growth could reach double digits in the second quarter of 2021. The country's gross domestic product, or GDP, an estimate of the economy's activity of the economy, basically how we're doing, is close to where it was before the pandemic. So that's very good news. And a lot of experts believe that it will return to pre-pandemic level this summer. According to the Bureau of Economics Analysis, the increase in first quarter GDP reflected the continued economic recovery, reopening of establishments, and continued government response related to COVID-19 pandemic. And let us not forget, there's a large segment of the workforce that felt very little impact from the pandemic. Many jobs performed at a desk in an office are just easily performed at a desk in someone's home. And with fewer outlets for spending, plus 3 stimulus checks, many Americans managed to save more money than ever before. The personal savings rate ballooned to 33.7% in April of 2020 and has remained well above the pandemic levels ever since, which makes sense why also the stock market has been performing so well, especially in 2020. In March of 2021, the personal savings rate spiked again to 27%, likely due to the latest round of stimulus checks and tax refunds. Many households have accumulated much more savings than they had before the pandemic. Now, is this another reason why things like Bitcoin and altcoins have done so well? Maybe. Another thing to know is that the housing market has surged as people stuck at home realize the limitations of living in their space. The National Association of Realtors recently reported that the national median sales price for a home hit $329,000 in March, up 17% from March of 2020. That number rose in every region of the country. Much of that rise was likely pushed by houses priced above the median. Housing inventory increased slightly, but it was still down 28% from the previous February. And of the homes that sold that month, 83% were for sale less than a month. Now, of course, our favorite subject, the stock market, has also boomed. The Dow Jones is still hovering near record territory as individual investors flush extra cash from the 3 rounds of stimulus. On top of that, institutional investors continue on betting for a strong economic recovery as the year progresses. While some experts foresee a strong economic recovery, others are still concerned about inflation or hyperinflation. Some predictions show a rising of inflation of 2.7% in 2021 as compared to 2.3% in 2019 and 1.7% in 2020. So although a lot of experts are worried about inflation, it doesn't seem so concerning overall, and worries about inflation might be overblown. According to Yeva Nersessian, probably butchered that name, associate professor of economics at Franklin and Marshall College, we had a whole year where prices didn't really increase, and for some stuff they actually decreased. So if you're comparing this year to that year, then the reading is going to be higher than if prices had continued to just go up. If there wasn't a pandemic, the prices would just go up more steadily and we wouldn't see the kind of jump that we saw recently. So there's a big push in Congress to pass a fourth stimulus check. However, unfortunately to some, it is very unlikely. There are some reasons why. So first of all, vaccinations are progressing. Adults and those that are at least 16-year-olds are now eligible to be vaccinated in all 50 states. Now, 3 different options are available to the public. Americans have received over 246 million doses, with 44% of the population having received at least 1 dose and 31% completely vaccinated. So with vaccination numbers rising, the economy is showing additional signs of recovery as well. State and local economies are reopening as restrictions loosen. Hiring has picked up in some sectors, and the average for new unemployment claims over 4 weeks continue to push downwards. Now, consumer confidence continues to climb as well, reaching its highest level since the start of the pandemic. Consumers are also generally optimistic about business conditions in the job market and increasingly intended to take vacations, like me. Now, we have to understand that consumer spending drives 2/3 of the country's economy. And the third stimulus check, along with excess pandemic savings, has increased people's spending power already. An improved financial position generally also raises optimism in the future. The ongoing vaccinations, which will continue to allow the economy to safely reopen, certainly can help. And all that additional spending, along with the release of pent-up demand, should lead more jobs as companies hire to address consumer needs. With the economy opening up and continuing to improve, a fourth round of stimulus checks loses much of its urgency. Another factor that could slow down or eliminate the possibility of fourth stimulus check is the America's Jobs Plan. It's worth $2.3 trillion and aims to rebuild roads, repair bridges, and do away with lead pipes, extended broadband, modernize the country's electric grid, and much, much more. So that should open up a lot more jobs, which will potentially reduce the possibility of a fourth stimulus check. And finally, while a fourth stimulus check is unlikely, more direct payments to Americans have already been signed into law. The American Rescue Plan Act includes an improved child tax credit. Under the revised child tax credit, the IRS will pay out $3,600 per year for each child up to 5 years old and $3,000 per year for each child ages 6 through 17. Payments will be issued automatically on a monthly basis from July through December of 2021, and the remainder will be issued when the recipients file their 2021 taxes. The benefit will not depend on the recipient's current tax burden. In other words, qualifying families will receive the full amount regardless how much or how little they owe in taxes. Now, payments will start to phase out beyond a $75,000 annual income for individuals and beyond $150,000 for married couples. So with all that said, the possibility of a fourth stimulus check is very unlikely, but you never know. So it's good to be informed. I'll try to do a lot more videos like these just to keep us updated on where that is and if there's any new updates that come about. It's good to know that because what you can do with that stimulus check, in my opinion, is invest it. That's all I have for you guys today. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Your support would be greatly appreciated. That's all I have for you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.